My philosophy project is on Søren Kierkegaard, one of the fathers of existentialism. He was born May 5th, 1813 in Denmark, into a very wealthy and prominent merchant family. His parents were Michael Pedersen Kierkegaard and Anne Sørendatter Lund. He was the youngest of 7 children and bullied as a child in school. He studied theology and philosophy at the University of Copenhagen from 1830 to 1840. His fiancée was Regine Olsen, and he published 40 pieces. 4 of his most prominent pieces include Either or, Fear and Trembling, The Sickness unto Death, where he wants us to give up our sentimental illusions of life, and the concepts of anxiety. He died in 1855 from a painful spinal disease. Existentialism is the philosophical movement centering on the analysis of the universe being unfathomable and the plight of the individual must assume ultimate responsibility for acts of free will without any certain knowledge of what is going on, wrong, or good or bad. His view is that truth is found through subjectivity, through our individual, unique apprehension of things. Existentialism is basically just being aware that we are existing and we all basically really don't have any idea what's going to happen, what's going to go on in our life, except that we will die. And it does touch on that life is meaningless, which is why it is often confused with nihilism. But it's not nihilism at all because it touches on that, yes, life is meaningless, but the person going through life is what puts meaning to it. And it changes from different people to different people. His impact on today's world is in physical forms, in that he left several journals which are still intact and continue to be read and studied by students and professors of philosophy. His influence was also at first in Scandinavia and German-speaking Europe, where his work had a huge impact on Protestant theology. With his book Concept of Anxiety, published in 1844, he introduced the word angst, which is understanding how many choices we have and how we have the smallest understanding on what these choices mean and how to make them. In the book, he writes, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forward. Constant angst is obviously present in our lives, being in high school, and it means that unhappiness is basically just written into life. He wrote, anyone who has given the matter any serious thought will know that I'm right when I say it is not possible for anyone to absolutely, in every conceivable way, be completely content, not even for a single half hour of his life. No one has come into the world without crying. No one asks when you want to come into the world. No one asks when you want to leave. How empty and meaningless life is. We bury a person, throw 3 shovels of earth over him, drive out in a coach, drive back in a coach, and console ourselves that we still have life enough to live. He introduced the common phrase, take a leap of faith. He did not see a true answer, but the one answer that he actually did see was God. He despised the strict Danish church, but he admired the simple truth of the Gospels that his father taught him as a child. And in his eyes, Christianity was to completely consider oneself to theology of simplicity, and that one is ready to die for Christ, and that one must love all humans like their own siblings. He didn't, although, rationalize or justify why Christianity was the answer, which is why he suggested the leap of faith. Existentialism's impact today is really important in psychological theory, the arts, and our day-to-day lives. Existentialism is important in psychology in that not every single person has a different mind, and when there's a problem, you can't just put people in different compartments and expect it to be fixed. So psychologists that focus on existentialism, maybe not necessarily focus, but they're aware that there has to be different things for different people, which is why there's medicines that work for some people and medicines that don't. In arts, an example is Toy Story 3. This is really recent, but remember the scene in Toy Story 3 when the toys are about to just fall into what looks like hell. And they kind of give up. They don't try to struggle and go back up. They just have this minute of just staring, and they all reach out their hands and just are accepting that life happens. The toys may be falling to extinction, but they're facing the problem head on. Existentialism is also present in common motivational fitness or weight loss posters or signs. Losing weight is hard, being overweight is hard, choose your hard. That's basically saying that you can choose your own path, but if you want to achieve greatness, you can do this. If you want to just stay the same, do this.